What can the police actually do if you get arrested? On this episode of the Lady Lawyer League podcast, we're going to tell you what the police can actually do and what you shouldn't do if you get arrested.
This is the Lady Lawyer League podcast, Omaha's leading lady lawyers, empowering women to be legal savvy. Hosted by Susan Ruff and Tracy Hightower-Henney of Hightower Ruff Law.
Welcome to the Lady Lawyer League podcast. I'm Susan Ruff.
And I'm Tracy Hightower.
And today we're going to talk about what the police can actually do if you get arrested.
Yeah, what can they actually do? I feel like they can do a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Well, we'll kind of talk about like what they can do and what they do and what our experience do.
But I think it obviously depends on why are the police interacting with you too.
Right. There's a lot of it depends. Right? I mean, like,
always
that's
it
the lawyer
depends.
thing.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't think we can like always say it depends on the podcast. So I think people want some answers.
I know. And that's hard because sometimes we get asked or someone presents a scenario to us that's there's so many other things that go into it that make the answer.
Oh, you mean when we're like in a social setting and someone's like, I have a quick question for you.
I have a quick question. Can I ask you a quick lawyer question?
And the Facebook messages. Hey, I don't know if you remember me, but we went to high school together. And
I don't know if you remember me. One time I was talking about, we talk about this all the time, right? Like the people that reach out and think that we know all areas of the law and that we just have knowledge, which is kind of flattering, right? We know everything. But
because law school teaches you everything.
Yeah. I was telling Mike, my husband, that one week I kind of calculated how much time I spend answering little texts, Facebook messages, emails, random phone calls, walking up at a social event that isn't lawyer related, lawyer questions. And it's probably, it could be up to an hour or more every week.
Yeah.
And I know, you're in the same boat.
Yeah. Sports
analogy.
Is that a boat?
Boat. We're in
a boat's a sports analogy?
I don't know.
Is it from rowing? Because you're a rower. It's from your rowing days.
I just want everything to be a sports analogy.
I just want to be on a yacht, there's no sporting.
Let's say
yacht.
that. You're in the same yacht. See if people get it.
You're on the same cruise ship.
Yeah.
All right. So we get a lot of questions from clients. Mostly clients have been already arrested by the time they're coming to us. But what we want to talk about is what should you do in the moment of your initial interaction with police and what can they actually do?
Yeah. After they start talking to you.
Yeah.
So there are situations where a police officer, you may have an encounter with a police officer that isn't because they think that you're committing a crime. Like maybe you witnessed a crime or maybe they're trying to get information or you were in a car accident, that kind of thing. I think that's a different scenario than where we're going, where there's some suspicion or even more that you are doing something wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So police, your first interaction, what's your advice about cooperation? Like the level of cooperation, should you cooperate?
Yeah.
Should you tell them fuck off?
Ooh. Okay, we'll get to that. Level of cooperation. So, if a police officer thinks that you have committed a crime and they're talking to you and they're asking you questions, you don't have to answer the questions. If you take active steps to not cooperate, like you continue to walk away, you drive away, you're in a car, you roll your window up and you just sit there, like they can actually add charges to whatever they're ultimately going to charge you with in the sense of not being cooperative with their investigation.
So I think there's a myth, not a misnomer.
Right.
I looked it up. Misnomer is only about names.
Yeah.
Misnaming someone.
Yes. Or a thing.
I just don't know why they don't call it misnamer. Anyways,
we could start that. We could try it.
So there's a myth.
Misnamer.
There's this sort of idea that like if police ask me for my ID, I don't have to give them. So can police actually do that?
Yeah, it's called a Terry stop from
like terry cloth.
Yeah, kind of, but no. It's a case, a Supreme Court case.
I know. I remember from law school.
It's like this big thing. It was like a big deal, right? In the 60s. All these
to do with the Fourth Amendment, right?
Yes. The police.
Which is the right against unreasonable searches and seizures.
There you go.
I taught that to my husband. That's the one I think he knows word for word.
That's cool.
I don't know. And so every time we drive down like the interstate and there's someone pulled over, he's like, their Fourth Amendment's rights getting violated.
Yes.
And I'm like, good job.
Yeah.
All right. So Terry stop.
Okay. The Terry stop is like the brief encounter with the cops where they're like, who are you? And if they want some information from you, you know, like as for who you are, you have to give that.
So what kind of information do you have to give in that moment?
Your name.
What if they ask for your ID?
I mean, again, it depends, but I think you should show them your ID if you have an ID.
What if you don't have it on you?
If you don't have an ID on you, it's not legally required that you have an ID on you when you're just like walking around. So if you don't have it on you and you say, I don't have it on me, and they believe you.
Yeah.
But, you know, if you're carrying a big old backpack or purse or something, they're going to be like, come on.
Come on.
Or they saw you show your ID to someone else like 5 seconds before, maybe, you know.
Right. Like a bouncer in a bar. Or something.
Right.
Okay. So.
We are going to say if you can say fuck off. I really want to talk about that really quick.
So can you say fuck off?
Yes. You can.
Because that is
the First Amendment. You can say fuck off. You can flip your middle finger.
Which is also an expression of speech.
Right. It's speech. It's protected speech. You just can't say to a cop anything that it would be considered inciting violence or threatening language. So fuck off is not.
How about I'm going to fuck you up? I think that might be inciting violence.
Yeah, that might be slightly threatening.
Okay.
Maybe. Yeah. So you can say fuck off,
if someone
fuck you.
says that to me, I feel threatened. So I think it's not slightly.
I'm going to fuck you up. Okay. All right.
Okay,
cool.
so don't say. So you can say fuck off to the police, but you might have some extra cooperation you need to do with the police.
They're not going to treat you very well if you say fuck off to them a whole bunch. Probably, you know, they're not going to be in a good mood.
Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe
and they have
don't
guns.
do that.
You know,
you can, but
yeah.
Don't do that.
Yeah, it's probably not the best idea. So, another thing people often ask is like when you're having that encounter with the police, you know, at what point can you leave?
Yeah.
And
you just said you can't walk away when they're like communicating with you.
But if you've given them your ID and they've taken down your name and they're like, okay, Tracy Hightower was walking down Dodge Street in a green sweater, you know, whatever. Then I think it's like, okay, are we done here? You can leave. And if they're like, well, I have a couple more questions for you, and you say, I have to leave, I have an appointment, or I don't want to talk to you, you can walk away. They can't arrest you unless they have a warrant for your arrest, unless they actually think that you have recently committed a crime.
And they can't arrest you unless they have probable cause.
Right.
Is that from an amendment?
No, I don't. I think
That
that's
has
from
to
a
do
case.
with Fourth Amendment.
Yeah.
Okay.
They have to have probable cause to think that you have just committed a crime
Before they can arrest you.
Yeah.
And then you're not free to leave.
Right.
Yeah.
If their report was, there was a blonde-haired woman that stole my car.
And she was wearing a green sweater.
And you are a blonde-haired woman, but they have nothing else. Like, you're not even in a car. Like, probably not enough probable cause to arrest you.
Okay.
But all of these things that happen, the way lawyers deal with them is all after the fact.
Yeah.
So
and
that's
then we're filing like motions to suppress.
Yes. That's what's really interesting about criminal law. Everything is after the fact. It's all reactive.
Right. So as criminal defense attorneys, we're taking the actual arrest scenario and then we're breaking it apart and going, did the police do what they should have done?
Right.
What did they actually do? And was it wrong? And can we get that arrest thrown out?
Right.
It's like an escape room.
How is it?
You're trying to escape the arrest.
Oh, okay. With the clues.
Yeah.
Fun.
Love it. We should do an escape room that is like that. Arrest, courtroom. That's what we do in real life.
Like break out of the courtroom.
Yes.
There could be a legal escape room.
Yes. We should totally sponsor this.
I have no idea how that would get set up, but
we'll figure it out.
okay.
Okay.
Next time.
All right. So talk about the, public defender and court-appointed situation when someone gets arrested and they can't afford a lawyer. How does that work?
Right. So if someone gets arrested, the first thing that happens is after they get arrested is they have an opportunity to post a bond most of the time. Sometimes there's no bond, but we'll just say most of the time.
That's like first-degree murder.
Yeah. So if they can bond out of the jail, then they're out. If they cannot make their bond, then they're in jail. Either way, they're going to have a court hearing.
Then they can try to escape.
They could try to escape. I mean, that's always out there, right?
Not suggested.
Yeah, not suggested. But after that initial, arrest, did they bond out? Didn't they bond out? They're going to see a judge pretty soon. And at that first court hearing, if they show up without a lawyer, a judge is going to inquire, like, can you afford an attorney? I don't see you have one today. And if they say, I can't afford an attorney, a judge is going to go through and ask questions to see, do they meet the income guidelines for whatever that court has to get a free attorney, a court-appointed attorney or a public defender.
Because part of like what we know as the Miranda warning is that whole thing that gets said, you're under arrest. What you say can and will be used against you. If you can't afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you.
Right. Which is the Sixth Amendment.
Yeah.
Gideon versus
So
Wainwright.
we have 1, 4, 6.
Yes. How many more can we talk about?
We could talk about 5 in a minute.
Okay.
The 5th one, not 5 more.
Oh, 5 more. I was going to say, I'm not sure I know more.
Just the
I know
5th
there's
one.
like 20 some, but...
Someone asked me the other day and I was like,
how many amendments?
Totally know that.
Or they like threw a random one? Like what's the
how many
third
amendments?
amendment?
Yeah. And it's 20 something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool.
All right. So you're in court.
You get a free lawyer.
Yeah.
Then what?
You know what really, really bothers me? So you used to be a public defender and I think you're a pretty like amazing lawyer and all of that. And when people call it public pretenders.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, are you kidding me? Like the public defenders are actually the lawyers that know what the fuck they're doing.
Right.
With the criminal defense.
I think it's like, I mean, anybody that knows anything about anything knows that what you're saying, like that's their opinion. Public defenders are really good criminal defense attorneys. Like I was explaining this the other day to someone, for example, and this is the example I gave. If you're charged with murder, do you want the attorney that you're their first murder client that's been charged with murder?
No.
Or do you want the public defender who had 5 murder trials last year?
Right.
And then,
Well, is it your first murder though? Or is this your first murder and their first murder?
I'm not really sure if it matters,
Right. But props to all the public defenders because they're real and they're badasses actually, but they're in court all the time.
Yeah. I mean, when I was a public defender, there were days when I would have more than 1 trial a day.
Yeah.
I mean, that doesn't happen in family law.
Yeah. And the Constitution gives you the right to an attorney when you can't afford one. And it's so important that you get a real lawyer.
Right.
Not a pretender.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Citizen arrest.
Oh my gosh.
I don't really like.
So not a lot of people know there's like laws on citizens arrests. In Nebraska, citizens are not allowed to detain other people for the purposes of an arrest.
Because then they'll be arrested for assault?
Kidnapping?
Oh.
I don't know. I mean, something.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think in other states, citizens arrest is an actual thing.
Okay.
Interesting, huh?
I was going to make some joke about like handcuffs. Like what happens if you handcuff someone? It depends.
It depends.
In the bedroom.
Did they want to be handcuffed?
Their consent.
Are they playing like...
Does a citizen's arrest always include handcuffs? All right, but I tried to stop myself and then...
Yeah. What if someone just ran around like screaming, citizen arrest, like...
Yeah, there's so many of those things happen in movies and then people get so confused, like, can I do that?
Yeah.
Well, what's the... Okay, this is not the same at all, but the movie Purge...
Oh, I heard about I haven't seen it. I've heard about it.
We spoke about Purge on our last episode.
Oh yeah, the word purge.
Isn't that the movie where you get to like do whatever you want overnight or 1 hour of the night?
I thought it was 24 hours or something because it was. I haven't seen it, but it was enough time where you could do some substantial damage, I think, to someone or
and
something.
then you don't get
in trouble. Right.
Which has nothing to do with citizen's arrest, I don't think.
No.
I don't know. I thought about it.
So,
the movie, not doing whatever I want.
What would you do if you weren't going to get arrested?
There's a couple people that I would punch and maybe like break out their car window or something.
Ooh. I would go to the all-you-can-eat ice cream place.
That's what you would do. And get all the gummy bears.
I would get the biggest thing.
This is what you would do?
Why not? I don't like...
Gosh, and then I sound so violent.
No, you took my answer, though. I mean, punching certain people would be really satisfying.
Yeah.
But see, if we all get the same 24-hour period, they could like shoot you back.
Right.
If I got my own 24-hour period.
Or something, though.
In the movie, do they all have the same 24 hours?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's chaos.
Yeah.
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 Okay, so citizen's arrest, not in Nebraska. Do we know about Iowa?
I don't know about Iowa.
I feel like they're way different. So like,
well, they have
probably all
casinos and
about
all
it.
Sorts of strange stuff over there that we don't have. So
strange casinos.
Casinos have tons of laws. I mean, that's where I was going with that.
So, in the casino, different laws?
No, like gaming laws.
Got it. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So what can the cops do once they actually arrest you? A lot of people ask that too. Like can they leave you in handcuffs forever? Can they put you in the car? What are, can they
take you to the police station?
Yeah.
Sometimes they let you go home.
Yeah. So you can be charged with a crime and never go to jail. You can get a ticket and or you can get a summons. This doesn't happen very often here, but you can get a summons to appear and then you go to court and you're charged. That's kind of interesting. But
and then you pay some fine.
Well, you get whatever penalty. I mean, if you're convicted.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So the interviewing.
Police interviews.
Yeah, police interviews. Can they lie?
Can police lie to you? Yes.
Yeah.
They do.
They're allowed to, and they do, and what you say can and will be used against you.
Yes. So they would be like, Tracy, you're here as a suspect on murder, and we've got your husband in the other room, and he just told us that he saw you do it. He saw you machete your enemy.
During your 24 hours.
Yeah. And, your husband might be at home watching, sports on TV or whatever.
Right.
But they can do that. They can say, we have your fingerprints on the machete, so we know it was you. So you might it'll be easier on you if you tell us the truth now, which is also a big...
Why are your fingerprints there?
Yeah.
And they're not there.
Right.
And they have no fingerprints.
Or they may not even have a weapon.
Right.
Yeah. So they can lie to you to try to coerce you to make statements against yourself.
Do a false confession. Yeah. My past life, I volunteered with the Innocence Project.
False confessions is with the big thing.
Yeah, false confessions is one of the top reasons for wrongful incarceration.
Because they don't have any other evidence other than that person's statements.
Right.
That were coerced either through lies or they can keep you in an interrogation cell.
Yeah.
Or a room or whatever we're calling it.
And then that false confession is used against you.
Yeah. They can withhold, they can... if you're in there for hours and hours, maybe you're hungry, maybe you haven't slept in a long time, maybe you haven't taken your medications.
Yes.
They don't have to really give that stuff to you.
And often then people falsely confess just to get out of the situation. They think they're going to go home, sleep, eat.
And maybe the cops have even promised you that.
Right.
So, yeah. And that again is something that an attorney after the fact has to pick apart to try to get their clients arrest or confession or whatever thrown out because cops did stuff they shouldn't do or the law has said they can't do.
Right.
So.
Okay, so after you're arrested, can the police... No. Can police handcuff you without arresting you?
So this one is I think, a case-by-case thing. And I think where that's been held up in court that it was okay for a police officer to handcuff someone if they weren't arresting them was they said it was for their own safety or for the police officer's safety or public safety. So if you're freaking out and there's a crowd and you're swinging your arms around and you could hurt somebody and a cop has said stop it or whatever, they could handcuff you and then ultimately say okay, just leave.
Right.
And no arrest, no ticket or anything. But I think they're probably pretty careful to do that, because if they do detain somebody, there's been lawsuits brought for people getting injured when that's happened, or, just saying like, you detained me and then you didn't arrest me, so clearly I wasn't doing anything wrong. And any freedom of our movement can be considered, a violation of your constitutional rights.
Okay, talk about searching phones after arrest, because I've always heard the interesting, how you can open your phone with your facial recognition. And oftentimes, like if you're arrested, your phone's locked.
Right.
And so the police want to look at your phone to see if, like, maybe you just texted someone, I'm going to go shoot this guy.
Right.
And that would be a really good piece of evidence.
Yeah.
Called premeditation.
Yes. The planning.
Don't tell people your plan before you do it.
Yeah.
Anyways,
most of the times criminal
people aren't that smart.
Yeah, they're not that smart.
So I've heard that the police are like, unlock your phone, and then someone's like, no, and they're like, look at it, and then it unlocks by their facial recognition.
So the police can seize what they consider evidence at any time during an investigation. They have to get a warrant to search your phone, meaning look at your contacts, look at your texts, if there's pictures in your phone, call history, all of that. And they have to show that the phone is reasonably related to the commission of the crime. So where phones are, I feel like the biggest thing is when they think someone's dealing drugs, because they're communicating on the phone with the dealing. I mean, that's been my experience
with the dealee.
And same with laptops. They want to see what's going on your laptop, and both phones and laptop, any computer, keeps track of like websites you've visited and all of that, and potentially location of where you've been. Right. So the phone, maybe there's really nothing on your phone except to show that on Friday night, if they can see a location ping at the scene of the crime or whatever.
Right.
So, but they can take the phone from you, put it in the little evidence baggie, and then get the warrant from the judge to send to Verizon or whoever
to unlock
the phone and look at everything. Mm-hmm. So that's how that works.
Or they could just put it in front of your face and unlock it right then.
But I think that's still a search that isn't supported with a warrant.
Got it.
Yeah.
Violation of the Fourth Amendment.
So like me, I don't have a lock on my phone because I'm not that, I can't even
Don't? No. I don't know that. That's insane.
Okay. Diet Coke. I thought we've talked about, I don't have a lock on my phone. I know. I should.
That's why you accidentally butt dial me sometimes.
There's a lot of reasons I should have a lock on my phone, and I don't.
I don't think I knew this.
But just because my phone isn't locked doesn't mean the police can just look at it.
Okay, but you need to lock your phone.
I know, but I'm a little worried I won't be able to get in.
Because you won't remember?
Well, I
show your face.
What if I don't have my face available? Like, can you do it with like sunglasses and all that on? Like, how does it work?
If I'm laying in bed, right, my face is down, I have a double chin, it doesn't recognize my face, and so I have to be like, okay, this is my face.
Do you have like face and...
Yeah, you can unlock it with a number.
And like finger and...
No, my phone doesn't have a finger anymore.
So when I ride my bike, this is funny, my phone, I usually wear gloves that don't have touch.
Yeah.
So I use my nose.
Oh, because there's no glove on your nose.
Yeah,
right.
It totally works. And since I have swipe text, I can text people.
We can also get you some gloves that have the thing.
I could do that.
And lock your phone.
I have two pairs. One has the thing on the fingers and one doesn't.
All right. Okay. All right.
So can the police unlock your phone? No.
Okay. So the answer is no.
No.
And also just double chin it if they put it in front of your face, and then it won't unlock.
Yeah. What if your eyes are closed? Does it unlock? Try it.
No, it doesn't. Well, how would I know? My eyes are closed.
Well, then you open them and you like...
And then when you open them, it unlocks.
Well, look, move the phone and...
Here, we can do it, and you watch.
Okay, do it.
Right now?
Yeah.
Okay, here.
Here, do it.
It didn't unlock.
Okay, keep your eyes closed.
All right, close your eyes.
Okay.
Okay. Let's go to, can the following people arrest someone? Like, who is able to arrest someone? And I think the first question is, can the IRS arrest someone?
Can the IRS arrest you? No. The IRS.
What about an IRS agent?
The IRS. No, an IRS agent is probably an accountant, right? Or a CPA, don't you think?
Listen, I interned at the IRS.
There was a lawyer. You worked with a lawyer.
There was a lawyer.
Was he considered an agent? Like, what does even IRS agent mean? I don't know.
Now I don't even know.
But the IRS, so I think the IRS is considered an administrative branch of
the government.
The government.
Yeah.
But so if the IRS thinks that you're committing a crime, they can go to a law enforcement agency, probably the FBI, and ask them. They're the federal government police.
Yeah.
So
the IRS cannot arrest you. And also, like, those calls that you get, this is the IRS calling, you're going to be arrested.
You have
That's
a warrant.
spam.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you answer it because your phone's not locked,
Public service announcement.
All right, park rangers. So can not approach the buffalo.
Can park rangers arrest you?
But can they arrest you if you play with the buffaloes?
I don't know the answer to if park rangers can arrest people. I can say that there are game wardens whose sole job it is to make sure, like, if you're hunting, that you're abiding by the laws and the limits of your hunting license. And I have a thought in my head that could totally be wrong, that sometimes a game warden actually is a park ranger, like they in a smaller park. I don't know. But like if you're fishing and your license and the season is you can get 10 fish that are 15. I had cases like this in the public defender's office.
Oh.
If you're fishing and your fish are, you have to have fish that are a certain length and you can only take so many and you're violating that, you will get a ticket from a game warden.
Okay, but they can't arrest you.
I think they probably could. If they can issue you a ticket, they can probably arrest you.
Okay.
But maybe they don't. Maybe they call the like local cop.
Okay.
Like sheriff.
Don't take too many fish.
Well, it was a big deal. Did you hear about, like, there's this huge thing about recently in Nebraska, I think, about illegal hunting, which they call poaching. It was like a general term of all the elk or something. Some guy got like 30 years in prison. It's a federal crime.
There's elk in Nebraska?
Maybe it wasn't elk and maybe it wasn't in Nebraska. I don't know. It was a big deal. I was following it slightly.
Yeah, maybe I heard that, but I don't think it was Nebraska. I don't think there's elk in Nebraska.
Maybe it wasn't elk.
Maybe in western Nebraska. They come over the border a little bit.
I feel like it was
because there's definitely elk in Colorado. So they don't like stop at the border and go, that's Nebraska, turn around.
Did you bring your passport? Funny.
All right.
Elk jokes.
Let's go to the entire weekend spent by producers looking at questions about what can the police actually do.
Searching the keyword phrase arrested.
All right. First up, dun dun, was Will Smith arrested? We assume this question is related to the slap.
The Chris Rock slap.
Yeah.
If those two were ever going to get in a cage fight, I don't think I'd put my money on Will Smith.
No, not at all.
Except he is tall.
I mean, the slap was a pretty good slap.
It totally looked staged to me.
It looked staged, but like, and even so staged that the slapping sound was like, was there like a sound maker that was like in the background making it extra slappy?
Like the rubber thing hitting the other, I don't know.
As far as we know, he wasn't arrested.
Yeah. They said that that police were involved, but Chris Rock said, no, please don't arrest. Which never happens in real life.
No.
It doesn't matter if you want someone arrested or not. The cops are going to do it.
Yeah.
If they're going to do it.
Okay.
Okay, next question.
Next. Can you get arrested for buying weed seeds? What's weed seeds?
Like seeds to grow marijuana? I think so.
Like, I literally just had this idea that like, oh my God, there's seeds that grow marijuana plants. Like, duh.
Like you hadn't really thought about it?
No, that they were just magic plants.
That's because you don't grow marijuana.
Like everyone has to have a plant to start it. Not a seed.
I think you can also propagate.
Do you do some gardening?
Yeah.
So do you always start with a seed?
No, we are too
this
lazy.
is the difference.
Do you?
No.
I get the little plant.
Yeah, it's already started. So
Yeah.
I guess I forget that all plants start with a seed.
I think this.
I had to remind myself what was the question.
I would think that the seed that grows an illegal plant is categorized within the law if it's illegal in that state.
Is there any like hallucinogenic benefit to just the seed?
I don't know.
If you eat it?
Yeah, if you eat it or
Like a sunflower seed?
I have no idea. They're probably like minuscule.
I feel like if you got arrested just for weed seeds, we would do some research and maybe file a motion to suppress, escape room style.
Depends on what you were doing when you got arrested, if there was probable cause.
Yeah. Okay.
And don't confess. If you have weed seeds in your pocket, don't confess.
And don't look at your phone.
Yeah. Okay.
Can you get arrested for using fake handcuffs? Are they furry?
I think it depends.
For using fake handcuffs. I mean, sometimes police, if they're like at a riot scenario, they don't have enough handcuffs, so they use zip ties,
Zip
right?
ties. What do they call those? There's a name for those things.
Zip ties.
No, but they call them they're like cinch cuffs or something like that.
Oh.
But that's not it. But I
don't.
But like toy handcuffs, like the kids might have in their like sheriff little uniform.
Can you get arrested for using fake handcuffs? I don't know.
I think you would only get arrested if the other person didn't like it.
Yeah, without consent.
Yeah.
No means no.
No means no.
Okay. Was Bill Nye arrested? Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Bill Nye the Science
Guy. What
Guy.
the hell would he have been arrested for?
I haven't heard about anything in the news with Bill Nye, so I'm going to vote no.
Yeah.
What's your vote?
I'm going to say no.
Okay. Moving on. Was Bill Gates arrested?
Why is it all the Bills?
Will, because it was Will and then Bill.
Oh,
I don't
is that
know.
how this Google works?
I have no idea.
Bill Gates.
I kind of feel like I heard something happened with him.
The same story as the elk?
No, it wasn't a hunting. I don't know, but I don't know.
I mean, I feel like he probably was arrested at some point, but I don't know. He's a pretty like upstanding guy, isn't he?
Well, didn't all this info come out recently about him having an affair with someone at the office? And his wife is like pretty cool. Like,
but you don't get arrested
No, I know.
by having an affair.
No.
Unless you use fake handcuffs, maybe, and have weed seeds
And
during the affair.
next. Ooh, this is a good one.
How to get your ex arrested. Ooh. There's a lot of good ways. I feel like, though, that might be giving unethical advice.
Yeah, we probably shouldn't tell people how to get someone else arrested. I mean, if they break the law, call the police.
Right. There you
go.
It. I think that's what we need to end with.
Just follow them around, wait for them to break the law, and call the police. But don't stalk them.
Don't plant any weed seeds. And by plant, I don't mean in the ground.
Well, that too.
And then give them some fake handcuffs. I think that's it. All right.
That was fun. Those were really weird. I feel like of all the ones we've done, those are the weirdest ones.
All weekend. They spent all weekend.
Bill Nye.
The Science Guy.
Now I'm going to go look it up.
Yeah. Okay. Look it up.
Look it up.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Lady Lawyer League podcast. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any episodes. Give us a 5-star review and check out our show notes for some more resources on this topic about what to do if you get arrested and what the police can actually do.
Thank you for listening to the Lady Lawyer League podcast, and be sure to like and subscribe anywhere you get your podcasts. If you would like to learn more about our firm, Hightower Rep Law, please visit our website at hrlawomaha.com.
We'll see you next week.